Grace, what does it look like? We use this term so often. We sing about it. The beautiful hymn, Amazing Grace. What does it look like on a practical level in our lives? Good morning. My name is Marcia. Welcome to Morning Joy, a short encouragement to start your day. Well, I gave some definition of grace on the previous video, and simply it's God's favor towards you and towards me. And, we cannot talk about grace without talking about sin. Listen, nobody wants to talk about it. We like to pretend that, hey, we're all good, that we don't sin in our thoughts, in our actions, in our words. But you know what? The truth is, we all do. The Bible says all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Well, to understand this beautiful thing called grace, God's favor towards us, let me tell you about this woman in John chapter 8. She was caught in sin. She was caught in adultery, and the religious leaders brought her before Jesus and expecting Jesus to condemn her because by the law, she was deserving of death. And so they wanted to see what Jesus was doing, but Jesus surprised them. The Bible tells us he, knelt down on the ground and he began to write. Now, we can speculate about what he was writing, but the scriptures don't say. And then he says to the crowd, the woman is still there, let him who is without sin cast the first stone. Well, obviously, they recognized that there was sin in their lives and they all walked away. And Jesus is left with this woman standing before him. And you and I are like that. We're this woman standing before God, knowing that the sin in our lives, and listen, you don't have to be an adulterer to be a sinner. If you have thought evil and wickedness in your heart towards anybody, if you have told a white lie, guess what? You have sinned. And you are in company with everybody on the planet because the word says all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. But here she is standing before Jesus and expecting condemnation. But instead of condemnation, grace was extended to her. And Jesus says, where are your accusers? And she says, hey, they're not here. And Jesus says, I don't condemn you. Go and sin no more. This is what grace looks like. And I share this as your morning joy because you know what? Everybody struggles with sin. Everyone, no matter how nicely made up they are, no matter how educated, no matter how much money, everyone has fallen short of God's glory. And grace is available to us. And so my encouragement to you is if there is a sin in your life that you struggle with, I want to encourage you to remember God's grace. Go to him. If the enemy wants to bring up the sins of the past, you're like, I am under God's grace. And so let me encourage you with this today to put a smile on your face. God's goodness, his love, his favor abounds towards you today. Remember Dr. Tony Evans' definition? It's where God does for us that which we can't do for ourselves. So as you go about work today, whether you're working from home or going into the office, go knowing that God's favor surrounds you. I love the scriptures that says God surrounds the righteous with favor as a shield. Walk in that today. God bless you. This has been your morning joy for today.